have memories from 4 years old playing computer games.
I think it's like my only game that I've taken seriously, really.
I gamed ever since I was young.
I've been playing it since I was like 11. It was pretty much like the only game I played.
이런 큰 행사 같은 거는 와본 적이 딱히 없는 것 같고 이번이 처음인 것 같아요.
Team Bliss was formed around a friend of ours, like a young gamer, really gifted at every game that he played, but could never really find a team that suited him. So our founder, Rupi, was like, well, how much does it really cost to make an esports team? And we were like, nothing. You just make a Twitter account and probably pay someone $5 on Fiverr to make your logo, and away we went. So Team Bliss was formed around one singular player in a game called PUBG.
We just always known as League as the top sort of esport within Australia. They had a pretty well-formed league, so it was kind of like the end goal to get into LCO. Brendan and I were talking, and we thought, well, why don't we just shoot a message through to Peter Du from ESL and see what's happening with League, if there's ever any spots opening up and how to get in. We just shot a blind email and they're like, all right, well, we'll get you in with some of the other owners and you can have a chat. And it was...
I think it was something like, hey, love what you guys are doing with League. If there's ever some potential to work together down the track, hit us up. And within like half an hour, we were in meetings with other owners and I was like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, I was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just threw ourselves into the deep end, and from there we had like meetings with Tim and Dave, and then that led on to us talking with Sean.
The actual slot acquisition was done in like 3 days, probably 2-3 days. So it was right before last Dreamhack, 2022 Dreamhack. LCO finals were being played, and we thought it would be really good to announce the acquisition of our slot and our entrance into League. It was also coming off the back of Order dissolving, so we wanted to get some good press back into LCO. So I think it was a win-win for everyone. We really needed to wrap it up by the Friday of Dreamhack, and I think we started talking on Tuesday. We actually didn't think it was going to be on the cards till about the end of 2024. But obviously with a slot opening up, we jumped in earlier than we expected to, but one of the first things we thought is that we wanted to find people within the space that knew League of Legends. So we wanted to get good coaches and good managers, first of all, that could really like help us form a good team.
Well, Team Bliss is a little bit different or like special, I would say. It's a team that me, myself, and the staff sort of build together. A lot of the times, the teams kind of get built around, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 players, and then they just gather, all right, like this player wants to play with, you know, someone else. We went through a whole trialing process. We went through a lot of staff discussions on actually, you know, okay, who we want to pick, what team we want to build, like what style we want to build. The team that I want is an explosive team. I want a team that plays early game. I want a team that plays fast-paced relative to OCE, simply because we've never really seen a team like this in the region. I think it will work very well because no one is really used to this style in OCE. It's also one of the best way to actually take games off teams internationally.
I sat in on probably around like almost near 15, 20 interviews with coaches and different staff. As soon as I finished the interview with Calvin, I went back and said in our Discord that this guy puts in the extra effort and I think he'd be the go-to guy for it. We still had more interviews, did those, and yeah, just came back to Calvin.
Pretty checked out in those final interviews though, once we spoke to Calvin.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Edge knew he was the guy pretty much straight away. And he came highly recommended from players as well, which is important to us.
Yeah, you come with a PowerPoint presentation, then you know
he rocked up with a PowerPoint to his interview.
I am Tristan Lived Fulcher, and I play video games for a living.
What can you really say about Lived, other than he's just solid all the time. Like I don't think he's ever had a bad game.
I mean, he has had bad games. His lane is a very sort of quiet lane as well, being top lane. Like, you know, you just forget he's even on the map until he comes out and he's level 12 and he's just destroying the rest of the team.
You forget he's in comms as well because he just doesn't speak. He's just so quiet and he's just, if he's not talking, you're pretty sure top's going well. I think that maybe is why Liv doesn't get the recognition of other top laners like Bio and stuff like that, because he is sort of quiet and just, you know, not outgoing but just super consistent and can play against the top laners, the best top laners in the league.
I think I've been playing games since I can like remember, so yeah, probably forever. I think even like before I had memory, I was probably playing, but I've been playing League since near the end of season 3, so 2013, pretty much like half my life nearly. And I watched my brother play at home and I was like, damn. He was playing the character called Lux, and that's like was my first ever name, like Lux Trolls. And so I just like played a lot of Lux when I first started playing. It was really fun.
Tristan's cool. Tristan's always cool. I think Tristan's been a rock solid player. He's pretty happy to go on whatever we want him on. He'll just pick it and he'll do his best. And his best is usually good enough. He's a very strong player, very competent.
Liv, he personifies top lane. So in the game, top lane is like a lane, like a role which like doesn't really interact much with the team. Just does its own thing up there. And that's pretty much like Tristan lived as a person as well.
You definitely need a balance of people that have loud voices and quiet voices, and I feel like Lived is more on the quiet side, but I think that sort of fits the top lane role, and he's always solid, he's always putting in hard work, never creates any problems. Like, yeah, you couldn't really ask for much more out of a top laner.
We talk about anime a lot. Resident Weebs represent.
I've always played games, I guess, as long as I can remember, and as soon as I could and kind of started playing computer games, it's always been computer games. So really my whole life, but I guess I have memories from 4 years old playing computer games.
Why not a literal wild card? He's very all or nothing, and even in the nothing sense, he's always trying to put himself in positions to make massive plays and to really sort of propel the team in the direction that he thinks it should go. Whether that works or not is a different story. But yeah, it just goes hand in hand with his sort of wild personality, I'd say.
Yeah, I've also never really seen anyone that delves as deep as him when it comes to training. Like, he finds critical info that helps his play from the most random reviews from random players, like just Word documents online that he'll just like break down and get new mech or tech out of. Like, it's just crazy some of the shit he shows me. And I'm like, how is this relevant in the slightest? And he's like, no, it actually makes sense. And then, yeah, so he's always working, always.
I had a friend I used to play games with all the time, and we used to always, you know, hang out. And back then we used to, like, if I needed to arrange something, right, I'd call him on his phone. So I called him up one day, you know, on his actual landline, and, you know, his mum answered, and I was like, you know, is Seth there? And she said, yeah, he's just playing a game right now. And, you know, she goes upstairs, gives him the phone, and he's like, one second, I'm just running away and, you know, playing a game. And the game he was playing was League. And I was like, damn, he's playing a game without me, so I had to download the game and get into it.
I've known Raz, like, why not, before I joined the team. We're like really close friends. I think he's like my closest friend in like the League world. We've been to like Korea together. That kid, look, he's like a little brother to me. Great teammate, always brings his best. And also, like, he'll make a joke about literally anything. Like, nothing's off limits with that guy.
He's definitely the most like assertive person on the team. Most outgoing, most extroverted for sure. I think everyone can just like see that from looking at his streams. It's weird that it's kind of taken him this long. Like, this is his first year pro, and I definitely think he's like stepped up to the plate as well.
I looked at my account and I saw I had ranked games in season 3, which is kind of crazy to me because it's season 13 now and I'm 20, so I've been playing since I was 10 years old, maybe even 9 years old.
I think he had a bad rep because like he sort of entered the OCE scene when he was really young. He definitely like has shown that he's a really good teammate, puts in the work obviously, and he has so many avenues of success in the game. Yeah, he's really chill, funny. Some of the stuff probably couldn't repeat, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, very, very good jungler.
Trying to like sit down like cinematically.
Lemus is just like, I don't know how to explain it. He's an interesting character. He's to himself, but at the same time he's quite like outgoing in an interesting way. He can be like extremely consistent in his lane and like has all the ability to take over.
Yeah, I love Lemus. Yeah, like you said, he's just been consistent all season across his lane. Even in games where we haven't done the best, I think Lemus has always been contesting bot lane. I think, yeah, he's one to watch out for in the finals this weekend.
My mum only like let me play on Saturdays. So I'll play once a week. I played my first game when I was like 5, I think. Probably on like Miniclip or something, like on the browser games. Yeah, ever since then, I just kind of like playing games. Well, I was like 14 or 13, and then my mates at school were telling me about this cool new game called League of Legends. Little did I know that was the beginning of the end for me.
I've spent the most time with Lemus out of any of my teammates, for sure. I went to Korea with him last year. So, you know, we've been friends for a couple of years, talking on and off and stuff, and then part of last year we were talking more and more. And I was like, dude, like, I'm gonna go to Korea, I think, in the break. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to come. And when I moved to Melbourne, which was in the past couple of months, he's helped me immensely with getting situated here. Yeah, I mean, as a player, he's great, right? I think being an amazing person is always good, but I'm not gonna be, you know, super hyped to be your teammate unless I think you're a good player as well. And I think he's a very good player. Seeing him develop again over Korea last year, I immediately was like, yeah, I want him on my team next year. And when I was kind of brought on as jungler and I had to make decisions around bot lane or give my input, I was always pushing really hard for getting Shimmer on the team.
It's definitely the best ADC I've played with. I haven't played with many, but it's nice to have someone who puts in like as much work as I do. I think that's really important. And I think it's super important that you can like talk about the game with your ADC and have disagreements or agreements and then be able to like come to a conclusion.
He's quite shy. You wouldn't expect a man of his stature and his God of War looks to think that, but he's quite shy. He's really nice. Definitely likes to like think things through a lot. I'd say I'm probably most similar to him on the team, to be honest.
Dad bought a TV when I was 3 and it came with a PlayStation 1. So I played like Spyro on that. That's probably my earliest gaming memory. Yeah. Normally you get introduced to League. I was just really bored and I saw an ad on like one of the like Flash game pages for League of Legends, so I installed it and I gave it a go.
Benvy's the type of player that always wants to improve. I think Benvy's always doing a lot of off-screen work. He's a bit hamstrung playing from Perth, on 60 ping, which apparently makes a big difference to LoL players. But yeah, I think we should hopefully see him unlocked on lower ping.
He's like always getting other people's, like other high-level coaches and players to sort of look over his plays, and he does everything, yeah, he can to potentially sort of elevate himself. But yeah, he's still got like a bit to go, just like on the sort of player side. But apart from that, he's a very good individual at the game for sure.
Yeah, I think he's a good young prospect.
Yeah,
I think once he hits his peak, he's going to be really, really consistent.
Yeah.
He is definitely the Hylissang of the team, either ints or makes like nutty plays. But it's always nice. I think everyone on our team is always quite nice to have around. He definitely likes to like hold on to his point, make like until he gets proven wrong about something like 100%, he'll like keep fighting for it.
As a teammate, it's pretty good. He cares a lot about performing well, which can manifest as like a good thing and a bad thing. Because if you take yourself too seriously, then like you can really get in your own head. And he's always trying to improve and push us and push me to improve, which is an invaluable asset to have as a teammate.
I mean, I think I've played a lot of games with Ben before, like back in even amateur as well. He really, really surprised me at the end of last year when he went from being a more kind of a coach, teacher kind of player to actually stepping up and playing pro. He actually looked incredibly good last year and has definitely performed. I mean, he's very much known for his Heimerdinger, and I will definitely be surprised if he gets to play it tomorrow, because I think Chiefs will ban a lot of it.
We originally started off that we wanted an all-Oceanic roster. We wanted to try and keep as true to our roots as possible. But the further we sort of looked into Australian talent, you have your Chiefs and your PGGs and whoever else who will pick up the best players for those positions. We were sort of left at a point where we knew we needed someone a bit better. We had an option, but he decided to go to a different team. If we sort of want to push ourselves up against the best teams, we need to really look elsewhere. So we started looking at PCS, and then once sort of a couple of people we were looking at there fell through, we decided to look towards Korean talent.
처음에는 원딜 유저였는데 그냥 원딜을 했을 때 한국 솔로 랭크 티어가 잘 안 오르기도 했고 아마 2년 전쯤에 미드라인으로 한번 바꿔서 해볼 거라는 생각을 했어가지고 2년 전부터 미드라인으로 바꾸게 된 것 같습니다.
Young Jimmy Ong, #1 in solo queue at the moment in Australia. He's incredible. Like he's so mechanical, and what we didn't realize when we picked him up, we knew he had a pretty deep champion pool, but we didn't realize how deep comparatively to other mids in OCE. So I think that's been one of his strengths, is that he can really adapt.
Again, a bit of a wild card, right? Going into this year, no idea who he is, you know, heard we're getting a Korean import, his name's Daystar. You know, I was super excited, talked to him a little bit before he came over. In that first week, we all came to Brisbane, and meeting Daystar and sitting next to him, because I'm the jungler, right? So I'm situated next to the mid laner. I immediately could just see he was good. You can tell very quickly from just watching someone's perspective if they're competent and if they're good at the game, and just right off the bat, you just knew Daystar was a good player.
He definitely gives a lot of input on how to actually play the game properly. A very different outlook on a lot of things. Even though like he can't speak like an insane amount of English, just the things that he does say are like hilarious.
He's all about working hard and grinding non-stop into like the late night. He's gotten a lot better English, so it's much easier to communicate with him, and he's a man of few words, but honestly, like when he does speak, he's pretty funny.
처음에는 많이 소통이 안 되니까 좀 힘들었고 지금도 여전히 소통 문제 때문에 좀 힘든 것 같아요.
He's probably just the best in our league by far, so if he says something, we listen. If he doesn't want something, we listen. And normally it works out, so can't really complain.
Whether he gets to counterpick the mid or whether he just has to blind pick, like he's strong in every game.
Absolute monster, absolute machine, and was completely integral to our success this split so far. Hopefully, for tomorrow night, will be one of the keys to lead to our victory.
What he says works and what he says goes.
So we started off pretty slow at the start of the split, which was kind of surprising to us as well, because the boys at the boot camp had been playing extremely well. Like, I don't know if they lost a scrim set at all. Come into the matches, it wasn't the same. They were all back at home as well, so they weren't at the HQ being able to play. So it took them a little bit of time to adjusting to playing together online again.
Yeah, we chalked it up to nerves as well. I mean, there was a bit of expectation coming in that they were the dark horse. While there were the majority of casters and analysts seeding us like 5th or 6th or whatever, the narrative was that these guys could potentially be a really good team. And they'd obviously seen their own scrim results, and I think they might have been in their own heads a little bit at the start of the season, like they had to live up to this expectation. So I think losing the first couple of games was good for them.
Yeah, just set them straight. Yeah. It was their 2 hardest matches of the season realistically as well. It was good to get those out of the way and then sort of ease back into it, I guess you could say. As soon as they got that first win, they knew that they could push themselves, and they definitely had what it takes to sort of translate their scrims into the actual matches. The Chiefs matchup's been really backwards and forwards. A lot of our early scrims, we were coming out on top, but then into the season, Chiefs were getting the better of us in situations, and the boys just weren't adapting to their play in match.
Yeah, they're also our most consistent scrim partner by a long way as well. So they've had the longest time to get to know our team and how they play, which is quite explosive and very early game focused. So I think Chiefs have been able to adapt to that quite well, and then we've had to adapt back to it. So obviously we lost to Chiefs at the start of playoffs.
I definitely felt like a little bit crushing, kind of, like not really crushing, it's just obviously losing never feels good. That's just the reality of the situation. You're never gonna feel amazing after a loss, but it didn't matter. Like, it was a game where we were like, yeah, sure, it would have been awesome to win this game. Is it likely? Probably not. Is it expected? Definitely not. So losing that game was fine. Losing the Dire Wolves game, I think, hurt a bit more.
Everyone was like, okay, because like everyone knew we had a lot of potential in our team. I think everyone just knew this.
But I think we showed actually a pretty good game against the Chiefs. It's just, if I remember correctly, it was like a Cassidy mid-game, which sort of fell apart, but I don't think we played particularly poorly. In maybe a more even draft, we could have taken the win. So it didn't really affect us that much, and it was just a regular season game, so it was more just getting our feet wet with playing as a team on an actual match day.
Overall, the Chiefs have probably been like our biggest sort of competitor through and through.
We ended up beating them in the split 1 playoff final. I don't even know what you'd call it.
Yeah, there's been too many matches against Chiefs.
But we ended up, our last match against Chiefs, we won 3-2.
We came back and we beat them in the best of 5 series. We did fall to them actually, a little bit. We went down, I think, maybe 2-1 to them, and then we 2-0'd them, and then we 3-2'd them. And now we're facing them again, and I don't know what the result will be tomorrow. I'm probably not going to lodge a guess, but we'll see, and by the time this comes out, we will also know the result. But I just hope we win. I hope we win.
It's been so long since we've like seen each other play. Last time we saw each other play was at PCS. We kind of both don't know how each other are going to play on the day, so it's kind of like scary but like exciting. I think they're probably a bit worried, we're a little bit worried.
We've versed them a lot, and not including scrims. We've scrimmed them the most by far, and we scrim them for 5 games every time usually. We've played Chiefs a lot.
일단은 내일 무조건 이겨야지라는 생각이 제일 많은 것 같아요.
One thing they really take seriously is winning. They want to do us proud as well.
We hate losing to the Chiefs as well, probably more than any other team that we play against.
It's hard to get a read of how it will go. So I think we just play our style. Hopefully we're better at it than they are at theirs.
제가 프로가 이번이 처음이라 좀 긴장도 될 것 같고 기분도 좋을 것 같은데 긴장이 좀 많이 될 것 같습니다.
I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm feeling confident. I don't know if I'm feeling, not really feeling any dread or anything. I think I'm just going to play my game, and if we win, we win.
Everyone being on the stage the first time together will be a very exciting experience, especially because I don't think none of us have been on stage before.
The closest thing that I've had to something like this is probably like an oral presentation. That's cool.
This whole experience is actually very new to me as well. I have coached teams that go on stage before, but not to this scale. Bliss does a lot of things in the back end to help the players feel comfortable in big stages like this. For example, we have Kinchi, who's the performance coach. The boys are like very well managed in terms of just their nervousness and stuff going into finals.
They're primed because of the fun nature of the rivalry with the Chiefs. We know that we're sort of ahead in the series right now, which is great, but anything can happen. On game day, it just comes down to making sure that we take it like completely in the present moment and not think about what happened in the previous game.
More than anything, I feel really proud of the boys. Obviously, like we all feel nervous going into a highly competitive final. Either way, we're proud of them nonetheless, and I think it's going to be a really good showing for them. I'm just proud.
Yeah, it's been a stressful road to get here. It's been an experience, that's for sure. I don't know, for me personally, having to deal with like a lot of the things that we have, it's easier just to see the boys off to push them out onto stage and let them do the rest.
Nothing's changed. They're just joking around, having fun. We're the ones stressing out behind the scenes. They're having the time of their lives. Yeah,
it's almost harder to watch than it is for them to play it, I imagine.
They're just excited.
Yeah, we have nothing we can do about the end result. We've done all we can. It's all up to them.
To really just keep the boat steady. Is just going to be able to play those team fights out. Brawl makes that harder. Rip Herald is summoned, teleport comes in, Drake on the cards as well as the hook.
Oh, they found Raze! That hook! I don't know what it is. Something's in the water with these Nautiluses. They just don't miss. What the believers in the crowd, they were inspired. Plenty of Bliss fans here today cheering for them. This is their first split, and they're in a grand final.
2 members of Chiefs remaining, but 0 hope of contesting.
Well, that does it. That's the quickest game of the series, 25 minutes. And Bliss say, hey, the reverse sweep dream, it starts right now.
However...
Oh, look at that!
Oh my God!
Kissei! There's something special, it's something cute, it's something denied! because on reset we run straight back to that Baron pit. In comes Babip on a deep flank with the Hexgate. Oh no, knocks him up. Kisse goes in and kills. Why not in the afterlife? He's going to chuck out that Requiem, but it's just completely nullified. 1-for-1 so far, that's what you need. Even state, but Team Bliss are fighting. There is the Featherstorm, there is the Ripback, there is the double. That's what you need.
And Bliss stand and deliver. The Requiem comes through and Babip is dead to rights.
Very scary.
How much can they take?
They are going to definitely try. You wouldn't put it past them. Inside the base they go. 25 seconds.
Do they commit to the play? They're committing.
On towards Nexus turret number 1. Biopan to try and trim this wave as best as he can. He has no ultimate. Second one goes up. Knocks them all up. Alazor again. They start jumping.
They're all in on the edge.
They really want this. It's do or die. They're on to number 2. It's an exposed Nexus.
They can't do it.
They're dying. They're wiping. And they're running away. Liv.
They're chasing it.
He's trying as much as he can. Raze will not allow it.
And Kisse's gone to top lane with teleport. A second teleport will follow Bliss. They just threw everything on the mid lane push.
Man.
There is an open Nexus, but there is not a game that is over just yet. You can believe in game 5s, but they couldn't execute. Chiefs held on way too well, and look at them push.
They've tried so hard, but I think they've bitten off more than they can chew.
20 seconds now for the Chiefs. Do they go for the same play?
It's looking likely. They're going to go for their second inhibitor inside the base of Bliss. Now, Deja Vu knocking on those
The
Nexus
Chiefs
turrets.
have done it.
Number 1, number 2, Chiefs are going to do it. They are your back-to-back champions. Welcome to the new era of Chiefs dominance.
Yeah, we lost, but you know, at the end of the day, we still got second place. Not something that people expect us to. Yeah, the two will be better.
Well, we just lost 3-1 to the Chiefs. Obviously, that's not the result that we wanted. But I mean, proud of all my teammates for giving it all their effort. And well, we're not really that happy with our gameplay overall. We did have some good moments to draw from. And
today wasn't their day. I think individually, like, performances weren't really where they wanted them, and it kind of showed in the early games. Once they got to game 3, they sort of got a bit of life, got a bit rolling, but I think it was just, yeah, that little bit too late.
Just what we always love about our LoL team is like their creativity when it comes to drafting and how they execute, just like fun.
Yeah.
Just fun heroes. Like when we won game 3, it was just a really fun game to watch. So it's always heartbreaking, you know, like stumbling at the final hurdle. We call it the Bliss curse. Coming second and everything, but if we had to lose to someone, it would be Chiefs. You know, we've had a
good rivalry,
an insane rivalry, and a magical debut season. So
I think just the boys' resilience, like their ability to come back in game 3 and game 4, they were, you know, head to head for a long time, and then just, you know, that one play, it could have been all or nothing, and it turned out to be nothing. So, you know, they gave themselves a good shot, but just fell short. Whatever needs to happen, we'll make happen, and yeah, take it from there. These boys definitely haven't reached their potential yet, so look out for split 2.
Run fast and don't stop at the edge. You can be